Let's look at some of the Microsoft products. Microsoft Windows. Microsoft Windows is a group of several proprietary graphical operating system families developed by Microsoft. Windows has a wide range of families, each designed for a certain sector, example, Windows NT for consumers, Windows Server for servers, and Windows IoT for embedded systems. The first version of Windows was released on November 20, 1985, as a graphical operating system shell for MS-DOS. Windows 1.0, also known as the MS-DOS Executive, had the following components: calculator, calendar, card file, clipboard viewer, clock, control panel, notepad, paint, reverse, terminal, and write. It did not allow overlapping windows. Instead, all windows were tiled. Windows 2.0. It was released in December 1987. It became more popular than Windows 1.0, having the following improvements. Changed from tiled windows to overlapping windows. It introduced more sophisticated shortcuts. And they could use expanded memories. Windows 2.1 was later released with capabilities to multitask several programs. It also introduced Microsoft Word and Excel, and integrated the control panel. Windows 3.x. Features Windows versions 3.0 and 3.1. Windows 3.0 was released on May 1990 and has the following features. Improved design, mostly because of the virtual memory and loadable virtual device drivers that allow Windows to share arbitrary devices between multitask DOS applications. Was able to run applications in protected mode, which gives them access to several megabytes of memory without the obligation to participate in the software virtual memory scheme. Had improvements to the user interface. Multiple DOS program multitasking support. Revamped control panel. Solitaire card game program added. Improved paintbrush program. Windows 3.1 was released to the public on March 1992. Some of the updated features included 32-bit disk access, TrueType font support, more detailed icons which can be dragged/dropped, RAM limit increased to 64 megabytes, had media viewer and video file player, and integrated sound and video with CD-ROM support. Windows 9X. Features Windows version 9X, Windows 95, Windows 98, and Windows ME. Windows 95 was released on August 24, 1995, and had the following added improvements. Introduced support for native 32-bit applications. Plug-and-play hardware that allows recognition of a hardware component in a system without the need for physical device configuration or user intervention in resolving resource conflicts. Preemptive multitasking. Long file names of up to 255 characters. Increased stability. Redesigned object-oriented user interface, replacing the previous program manager with the Start menu taskbar and Windows Explorer shell. Windows 98 was later released on June 25, 1998, and had the following improvements. Introduced the Windows driver model. Support for USB composite devices. Support for ACPI that helps discover and configure computer hardware components to perform power management, auto-configuration, and status monitoring. Hibernation, which helps power down a computer while retaining its state. Support for multi-monitor configurations. Integration with Internet Explorer 4 through active desktops. Version 2 of Windows 98 was released in May 1999 and had added Internet Explorer 5.0 and Windows Media Player 6.2, among other upgrades. Microsoft released Windows M.E, Millennium Edition. This had faster boot time compared to previous versions. Included compressed zip folders by default. Introduction of on-screen keyboard. Expanded multimedia enhancements include Windows Media Player 7, Windows Movie Maker, and the Windows Image Acquisition Framework. Additional system utilities such as System File Protection and System Restore. This, however, was much criticized for its speed and instability, together with hardware compatibility issues and the removal of real-mode DOS support, making it considered the worst operating system Microsoft had ever produced. Windows NT comprises Windows NT 3.1, Windows NT 3.5, Windows NT 3.51, Windows NT 4.0, and Windows 2000. Windows NT was the first Windows operating system based on a hybrid kernel. It was developed by a team within Microsoft that revamped a version of IBM and Microsoft OS version 2 that was intended to be more secure and have multi-user capabilities. The first release was Windows NT 3.1 in July 1993, known for its reinvigoration of the user interface and technical design. Followed by Windows NT 3.5 in May 1994, which allowed sharing files via the File Transfer Protocol, and printers through the Line Printer Daemon Protocol. Followed by Windows NT 3.51 in May 1995, new features introduced included PUMCIA support, NTFS file compression, 3D support in OpenGL, persistent IP routes when using TCP/IP, automatic display of textual descriptions when the mouse pointer was placed on toolbar buttons, tooltips, and support for Windows 95 common controls. Then Windows NT 4.0 was released in June 1996. The main improvement was the addition of the Windows 95 shell. And later, Windows 2000 was released in February 2000. Windows XP. Windows XP was released on October 25, 2001, with the aim of unifying the consumer-oriented Windows 9X series with the architecture introduced by Windows NT, which aimed to provide better performance over its predecessors. The main features added include updated Start menu and a task-oriented Windows Explorer, streamlined multimedia and networking features, Internet Explorer 6, integration with Microsoft's Net Passport services, a compatibility mode to help provide backward compatibility with software designed for previous versions of Windows, remote assistance functionality. Windows Vista. Windows Vista was released on November 30, 2006. Contained a number of new features, including redesigned end-user interfaces include Windows Arrow, Windows Shell, Windows Search, Windows Sidebar, Windows Internet Explorer 7, Windows Media Player 11, Windows Defender, Backup and Restore Center, Windows Mail, Windows Calendar, Windows Photo Gallery, Windows DVD Maker, Windows Media Center, parental controls, speech recognition, and disk management, among Windows 7. Windows 7 and Windows Server 2008 R2 were released to manufacturing and to the public on October 22, 2009. Unlike Windows Vista, which introduces a number of new features, Windows 7 intends to focus on the goal of being compatible with applications and hardware that Windows Vista was already compatible with. Other updates were multi-touch support, redesigned Windows Shell, updated taskbar, home networking system called Home Group, and performance improvements. Windows 8 and 8.1. Windows 8 was released on October 26, 2012, with a number of significant changes, including introduction of a user interface based around the Microsoft Metro design language with optimizations for touch-based devices, increased integration with cloud services and other online platforms, the Windows Store service for software distribution, a new variant called Windows RT for devices that utilize the ARM architecture, and new keyboard shortcuts. An update to Windows 8.1 was released on October 17, 2013, and includes features such as new live tile sizes, deeper OneDrive integration, and many other revisions. Windows 8 and Windows 8.1 have been subject to some criticism, such as the removal of the Start menu. Windows 10. Windows 10 was released on September 30, 2014, and mainly addressed shortcomings in the interface of its predecessor, Windows 8, which include updated Start menu, which incorporates elements of Windows 7's traditional Start menu with the tiles of Windows 8, a virtual desktop system, and the ability to run Windows Store apps within Windows on the desktop rather than in full-screen mode. Multiple desktops and task view. Cortana, which is a personalized digital assistant. Microsoft Edge, a new, more powerful web browser. The Windows user interface was revised to handle transitions between a mouse-oriented interface and a touchscreen-optimized interface based on available input devices. Other features include a virtual desktop system, a window and desktop management feature called Task View, support for fingerprint and face recognition login, new security features for enterprise environments, and DirectX 12. Among many other updates. Windows 11. On June 24, 2021, Windows 11 was announced as the successor to Windows 10 during a live stream. The new operating system was designed to be more user-friendly and understandable. It was released on October 5, 2021. Some updated features include updated Microsoft Store, allowing third-party application stores such as the Epic Game Store. Integrated user interface. Free and open-source web browser based on the Microsoft Edge web browser. Does not support Internet Explorer. Among others.